Someone forwarded this to me, and so as a result, what I'm going to do is transfer it to you, so you can get a clearer understanding concerning county officials when it comes to human trafficking rings, pedophiles, and people doing inappropriate things, even using county equipment, like county computers. You know, what I try to do is, it's real simple, okay? At the end of the day, no matter who you are, if you have family, friends that you care about, truly honestly care about, you would want to know if there was some slithering, snaky criminality that is infested within our system that can literally take you out of your home, okay, and exploit you in the worst possible way. I'm not making these statements because of emotionalism or high-minded ideas in reference to why I do what I do. I make these videos because I want to be able to steer people to the resources that can help them understand the vulnerabilities that them, their family, their friends can be subjected to in a heartbeat, at the drop of a dime, okay? I'm a good woman, okay? And I'm a smart woman. And the reason why I do what I do is because what happened to me in my personal life. I was a college student, okay? I went to school for years for electrical engineering. I have a certificate that's way past the bachelor level in architectural drafting. I studied the brain extensively for years. I'm a smart woman, okay? And I don't have time to sit back and comfort anybody's ego if they think I'm being vain. That's not the reason why I talk about my education. The reason why I talk about my education is because I'm trying to help you understand that what I expose is based on educated knowledge that I understand based on educated knowledge, okay? And the intelligence to be able to sift through it, dismiss the bullshit, okay, and the disinformation in order to be able to steer you to information that you can research for yourself on your own, so you can make informed decisions based on deductions, deliberations, and eventual conclusions. And that's the reason why I make my videos, because what happened to me, okay, can literally happen to anybody. These perpetrators sat outside of my home. I'll just put it to you this way. These individuals had the ability to sit outside of your home and use technology that can neurally manipulate you, neurally control you, neurally entrain you, and then neurally stimulate what's been neurally entrained. Go to YouTube and type in Timothy W. Bioethics Issues. He talks about neurocognitive weapons and brain entrainment. Now, when you got somebody who's using technology from a remote distance on you, and you don't even know it, while circumstances are being created for you to experience physically, like being covertly blacklisted, being fired from your job for no apparent reason, being harassed along your routes by people you don't know, organized stalking, okay? All these multi-tiered implemented protocols are being utilized towards you covertly by a third party you don't know, while technology is being used on you in the midst of the circumstances that produced huge amounts of emotional and mental and neural responses just based on what's been happening to your personal life that can threaten you physically, like loss of job. They'll stage vehicle accidents so you don't have a car to sleep in. They get landlords and property owners on board to have you evicted or cause you to want to move. Because as you're experiencing these things, you don't know that what's happening to you in your life is being managed by a covert third party. You think it's just bad luck. I'll just move to another location since these neighbors are jerks, or since the landlord's a jerk, or since my mail suddenly seems to be getting lost, like your rent. Yeah, and then when you can't find another job, or while you're out there looking, they'll stage a vehicle accident, so you don't have a car to even look for a job in, even though you wouldn't get one to begin with because you've been covertly blacklisted. While you're being neurally manipulated to feel more anxiety and panic attacks in the midst of these circumstances that you're in, and you believe the panic attacks you're having is just because of the simple fact of the circumstances you find yourself in, that have all been covertly managed. My name is Leslie Williams. Every single statement that I just made to you can be thoroughly understood by researching the technological resources that I steer you to. Go to Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. It's an organization online that you can go to by Googling that term. Then you'll notice their webpage. Look at what's on the bottom of their homepage. 3 PDF links. Pay close attention to the first 2 especially. And I'm not saying the third one is not just as important. It is. But the first 2 will help you understand the factual realities concerning some of these technological resources. Then go to surveillanceissues.com. Thoroughly scrutinize everything that is on their webpage. I suggest you print everything out, section it out, and then use it as a template of reference so you can go back and research it once you start investigating organized stalking, gang stalking, remote neural monitoring, the microwave hearing effect, which is also coupled with a voice print of your own voice, so they can transmit psychological direction in any target's audio cortex using their own voice print. So as a result, they believe what they're hearing in their audio cortex is their own internal thoughts. John Hall calls them artificial thoughts. Go to YouTube and type in John Hall satellite terrorism. And this technology can steer you to go from place to place to place to place where multiple crimes can happen to you. And if you don't believe this aspect of it, go to YouTube, type in John Hall satellite terrorism, and thoroughly listen to what happened to his fiancée as a result of that technology being used on her in that specific way. And if you do what I say, and take the time to thoroughly and extensively and meticulously research everything that I just described to you, you'll clearly be able to see that these templated protocols that are implemented on a step-by-step approach, they tear your life down piece by piece by piece, covertly, while you're in the middle of all these circumstances, you're being remotely neurally manipulated. Okay? Yes. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning brain entrainment in the direct and deliberate, complete malice of forethought and criminal intent to make neural networks that are designed to take you from A to B to C to D in order to classically condition neural networks for human trafficking. So they can then turn around and use remote neural monitoring to stimulate what's entrained. And as a result, you literally have no conscious control over the thoughts that they're stimulating that are in the neural pathways that they're stimulating. As a result, you have literally become a neurally controlled slave. It's neural enslavement. That's why Macy Monroe, a congressional candidate for the 28th District of Beverly Hills, California, in the November 12, 2011, if you Google her in reference to the statement I just made concerning her, you'll see that on priority number 2 on her website, clearly talked about satellite technology, mind control, and the 13th Amendment, which has to do with slavery. There's also another website that's in the remote neural monitoring file in the resources feature that talks about Christians against mental slavery. My name is Leslie Williams. I do what I do to help inform you that a lot of these criminals that are attached to these expeditions are in the system. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, listen to what was forwarded to me.
Victoria, go ahead. Oh, hey. I was working for the county of Monterey back in 2003 and turned in a coworker for looking at child pornography on a county computer and on his personal smartphone. The county protected him, and I ended up getting fired. A lot of people knew that he had inappropriate contact with the minors. He was a facilities manager, so, the county drug court judges, they protected him.
Was he ever arrested?
Same thing, but my thing is, I would like to have a law passed to have IP addresses checked for anybody that's going to have anything to do with children. I don't care to what degree of separation. If you're passing laws regarding children, if you work for social services, you work in a group home, you're a clinician.
Monitor their computer stuff, yeah. Let me ask you this. What happened to the guy that you turned in?
Nothing. He's still working for the county of Monterey.
Do you regret doing it?
No, I don't.
Good for you. I mean, that's the right attitude. I'm sorry that it cost you your job, but that's what people have to do.
I would like for everybody that was involved in this case to have their IP addresses checked.
Yeah, you're right. You can go back and find out where they've been. We got a break. We'll talk more about this. 7:36.
Now notice how she also talked about group homes. Okay, notice how this guy was protected and she was fired. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? because there's huge amounts of dollars made off of pedophile rings, human trafficking rings, sexual servitude rings, and pornography. And notice how she talked about group homes. They're targeting people with these expeditions and everything that I just described in order to tear down their lives, especially the elderly, people on disabilities, including veterans, which burns my ass to no end. I have a huge, huge tender spot in my heart and in my soul for my veterans, for veterans, because they went out for us, fought wars mostly based on lies, sacrificed their lives because of their patriotic sense of duty, and then when they come home, and as a result of the effects of war, they get on disability, and these criminal groups who had this technology will target them and any other person on disability that they can do it and get away with, and tear down every aspect of their life, especially young men and women, because there's a lot of homosexuals in sexual servitude rings. There's a lot of, and women are prime targets for these crimes that are on disability as well. And what they do is tear down every aspect of our lives through these covert means based on the employment descriptions they have, in order to be able to solicit the cooperation from landlords, property owners. Postal employees can be involved in these campaigns in reference to mail theft and mail delayment of rent to create the homelessness. They put them out on the street, they have them gang stalked. Yes, they create all types of staged incidences, and this is where some of the syndicated police come into play at. In order to be able to stage an event, had the police called, the police come out, either arrest the target or make a falsified police report, and then as a result of this continuing to happen over time, accumulated documentation is achieved between the syndicated police reports, the doctor's reports, and the social services report, and then they take legal probate control of the target in order to place them in a syndicated run group home to co-opt their monthly checks, to exploit their insurance, and to exploit the target sexually in a syndicated run organized crime group home. I've seen stories on the news and online concerning how people have tried to run from group homes because this is happening to them. And the state protects every bit of it because they're flipping houses. They go into the HUD house office and they buy these houses that have been taken over from foreclosure and the mortgage crisis. They buy them up and then they go hunting for people on disability and the elderly. And then they tear down their lives. They get a hold of them through corrupt syndicated probate attorneys, put these people in their homes, these homes, and co-opt their finances to pay the mortgage of their homes, of the homes they put them in, and to pay their personal mortgage of the homes of the people that own the homes. Yes, and they place anywhere between 3 to 5 to even 10, 11 people in one home. They're flipping properties and using people's disability checks to pay for them on top of paying for their mortgages, for their homes, their car payments, their cell phone payments, tearing down people's lives and exploiting their insurance once they get them in these homes, because they stage incidents towards targets that they trap in these homes, blame them for the incident, and then say you got to go on medication to get to the hospital to get on medication because you're out of control. And that's where they'll pipeline to the hospital on a day that a syndicated doctor is working, and then he'll book the Medicare out of hundreds of thousands of dollars as a result of repeating these incidences in these homes. And then the targets are also sexually exploited in these homes by drugging their food, and then once they're knocked out, they literally bring people into the home to have sex with these targets, to pay them off for other things that they're doing for the syndicate. Yeah, it's a mutual for-profit organization where everybody gets a cut off of torture, rape, racketeering, yes, and finance co-opting by illegally kidnapping people through these syndicated judges and syndicated probate attorneys. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth, so the factual realities can be known concerning them. And they're not only breaking apart people's families to do this, but they're also doing it to get a hold of the children, to place them in syndicated foster care for the same exact purposes. They go after single women, single mothers, people on disability, the elderly. They're into land co-opting, property co-opting, mortgage co-opting, identity theft, trust fund liquidation, human trafficking, sexual servitude rings, prostitution rings, drug dealing. You would not believe what I know. And they're targeting me because of what I know and how they tried to do it to me now in 2 separate states. It's a nationwide syndicate running on the same template and protocol of methods in reference to how they operate in the system. And I expose what I expose so people can know the truth concerning the factual realities of these expeditions, how they're taking innocent, normal human beings and everyday citizens out of their home who've done nothing wrong because they've been targeted because of what they got. Social Security, Medicare, and they'll even take a person like me off Social Security until they can exploit the financial destitution as a result of the circumstances that I'll be put in as a result of the financial destitution in order to steer me to environments where staged events can happen until they can get the accumulated documentation, get a hold of me, and then reapply for the Social Security in my name. And this is how they operate. Go to Google and type in a GangStalking Tech. Everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a manager of organized gang stalking crews. He flat out states they're connected to the courts, Medicare workers, social services workers are mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file. Do the math. My name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos because you don't understand what they're literally right now. Go to Google, type in Live Leak, Greg Chikamansky, and Julian McKinney. She flat out talks about gang stalking, and she talks about how the people that they're getting to harass targets like me are the ones that they're currently neurally choreographing for future exploitation. I've seen coaches use their players in restaurants have me gang stalked. Were these teenagers being neurally choreographed as a result of what they were doing towards me overtly as a result of the coach directing them to do it? Will they be future victims? Well, Julian McKinney, who's mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file and the resources feature of it, is not saying that the people they're getting to harass the target on the dispensing end are being neurally choreographed. And I already know that people that are being neurally choreographed are going to be exploited in the future. They're not neurally choreographed them for no reason. Just think about it. Deliberate what I've said. Research what I've said. Scrutinize what I've said. Synthesize the information. Cross-reference it. And take your time doing it. Because the only way for you to get a holistic picture in reference to what I've described is if you take the time to research it. I make these videos because I care about innocent human lives. You, your daughter, your son, your wife, your mother, your father, your uncle, whoever. It's my duty as a Christian to expose the factual realities behind these expeditions. They are going on in every city, state, town, county, you name it. And it's happening right underneath your nose and you have no idea. And that's why I expose these crimes. Alright, I gotta go. I just want you to know that the people who are mature will at least take a look at what I'm saying. And if you do, I guarantee at the end of the day, you'll be glad you watched this video and took the time to research it. It's all I ask. Okay, I gotta go. Have a blessed day. Thank you.